Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 on this here channel. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Let's get started with today's video, which is by request. Several of you have said, hey Eric, since you got that fancy new lift in your shop, how about a new shop tour? Here we are. This is Shop Tour 2015. To be specific, it's late May 2015. There's been a lot of changes this year, and I hope to make more going forward. Well, as I said, probably the biggest addition, the BenPack 2-post lift. It's changed my life. I have been doing way more work as a result. I was honestly getting a little wore out from rolling around on the ground. Last winter in particular was pretty hard on me. It got difficult, and this thing coming in was like a shot in the arm. It reinvigorated everything I've done. In fact, I've rearranged the entire shop around this new workspace. So let's start with that. As I said, this is my new BenPack lift. I did a video just on it, which I'll post a link to in the description. I've also added lighting. You may note the new lighting around the top here. I'm actually considering putting another light right there. But this makes like a really nice work area in this whole space here. It's well lit. It's really great. My compressor was on the other side of the shop next to my toolbox. It makes more sense over here. However, there will come a day where I hope to put at least a 60-gallon compressor back in this location. At the time, I'm going to run air to this device, and then these hoses and this compressor will go back to my house, and then I'll just hang the hoses off of here. And since it's got provisions for multiple hoses, I'll have one just for filling tires, and I'll have another one for using my air tools. But I'll be honest, I don't use my air tools all that often anymore. I'm using mostly my electric impacts since I got those. I don't like having to fight with an air hose if I don't have to. That being said, we have the ability to do it with this. Also, got new electrical outlets over here that we can use, which is really nice. Once again, for this whole work area over by the lift here. New oil drain bucket, which is, well, you can run compressed air into it and get the old oil out of it. I have two of these jacks now that, well, stands, whatever you want to call them. I originally got this one. My friends at J&B Tools hooked me up with this one, so thanks for that. But this one I went to Harbor Freight and got, mainly because this style is just a straight pull from the floor, whereas this one here is more of a tripod. And I recently did the transmission in that 1998 Chrysler, and the problem that I was having with it was that this, when I was supporting the engine, was way too rickety. I needed something with more support, so I went for this one. So I'm glad to have both of these supports to work with. Fuel injection cleaner, I should probably do a video on that at some point. This was above my toolbox on the other side of the shop. It's now over here. I now moved this workbench. This workbench used to be over in this area. Now it's brought over here and being put to use. I've got my scan tool, my power probe, leak detection stuff. Let's see, what else is that under there? Oh, my bore scope, also my fuel injection cleaning stuff, battery tester, spill-free funnel is down here, all this stuff. Well, I was pointing up here because I wasn't looking at the screen, sorry about that. Stuff to bleed brakes with down here, and more fuel injector cleaner stuff. I put a lot of chemicals in a shelf above this light here above my bench. I also put some zip ties and other stuff, a battery charger, some tape. We now have new Eric the Car Guy license plates, which is awesome. Here's some of those electric tools that I talked about, and this is a new location of my toolbox and my cart. But I've also swapped an engine out over here. This is just the greatest work area. So you pull an engine out over here on the lift, you pull it up front here, you do while you're swapping over and everything else, and put it back in. This is just like the ideal workspace. It's like, it's got feng shui. Yeah, I know, feng shui. I ended up putting my engine hoist and engine stand back over here, and my engine brace, parts cleaner back over here, and my welder and my plasma cutter, my new transmission jack, which is awesome, and geez, everybody kept saying, making a big deal out of this hook that I had it on here wrong. Let me show you something. If you try to hook a chain in like this, because it kept slipping off just like that. That was my problem with it. It wouldn't, if this was more of a hook, then I would put it in as a hook. But since it's over, it's sort of almost a 90-degree angle. any turning to one side could help it slide off. Anyway, the new SunX transmission jack, definitely useful, definitely awesome. But just look, I love this space right here. This is where I live now. Car comes in, I work on it over here, and as you can see by the stains on the floor, I've been doing quite a bit of work over in this part of the shop lately. Dun, 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 dun. My cars, my whips. The Mustang, yes, she leaks a little bit. Power steering fluid is leaking quite a bit, so I keep pans up underneath there, so I don't have to keep mopping it up every time I park it. But that's where the Mustang lives. Freaking love that Mustang. It's a lot of fun. Can't wait to swap the stuff over from that over into the Fairmont. But this is where these guys live. It's kind of a nice parking area. Just the way the shop is laid out now, it's got a better flow to it. Over here is my office, if you want to call it that. Move my fridge and my microwave over to this side over here. And I had to swap the door. The door used to swing over this way, so I had to move it over here. Yeah, I know you're probably going to say something about it. This is where I asked the electrician to put the box. This is where it ended up. And the microwave is never going to work. So I just took the whole thing off the wall, bent it on over, bolted it back down. I'm good with it. It works like it's supposed to. But here's my desk, tripods, stuff like that, first aid kit. Bathrooms where I'm keeping lights to keep them out of the frame while I'm shooting these days. Elvis still hangs where he did. This is where my toolbox used to be, over on this side of the shop. But I'm using this as kind of my special tool staging area. Plus I've been keeping like my body work stuff and everything under here. So anytime I'm needing to do body work or something, I have it more at the ready. This used to sit where my desk is now, back here in the shop. But now it's over here. And as I said, I've got a lot of my special tools like my drill doctor, my really good soldering iron, my measuring tools, Power Probe 3, some power belt sockets, some roll-lock discs. You never have too many roll-lock discs. This guy here, also a video on that. That's not going to be here long. In fact, at this summer's meetup, I'm giving this away to somebody. So hopefully they'll have the vehicle that they can drive away with in it. But yeah, that's another lift that I got when I got the bend pack. And this guy, if you haven't seen its review already, you will be soon. This is my Brannick 7600 coil spring compressor. So I no longer have to worry about using this stuff anymore. I have this, which is just so awesome. I absolutely love it. It makes working on this bench grinder a little bit close. You can see that we're a little bit close in here. I can still sneak in here, but the reason why this got placed here, I had a heck of a time trying to find a place to mount this. In fact, I found a stud here, and these bolts are probably about 3.5 inches long. But down below, no stud. So I ended up going in from side to side here. Luckily, this part of the wall is wood. It's not going anywhere. You know, I'm shaking the whole wall by doing that, but still, that was a little strange how there wasn't a stud. There was half a stud, so there's stud up here, but no stud down here, whatever. I also got this new power strip to go above this workbench that I don't really use anymore. But it's great because you can just reach over and plug in. And eventually when I get that air compressor that I talked about, I plan to run an airline over on this side of the shop and probably hang it either right next to or close to that extension cord to have that over here. And what I hope to fill this space with at some point when I get a chance to, is a decent shop press. A lot of you beat me up in the comments doing Brian's wheel bearings, saying that, you know, I needed a shop press. How come I don't have a shop press? I'm an unprofessional hack, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I looked at the Harbor Freight presses, was not impressed, and decided against getting that. But eventually the shop press I'm hoping to put right here. And this, of course, my old workbench. I did move some things around over here also. Some of those specialty tools that are now sitting down here used to be in this area, but instead swapped all my chemicals around. This is like mostly body type chemicals, and these are fuel injection cleaner, just regular stuff, ACs, this shelf. Even all this stuff is organized, believe it or not. I mean, it may not look it. All my oils and everything for changing oil, and my stock of stuff. Mr. Heater changed my life last year, seriously. This place, like I said, was getting pretty cold, and I was getting pretty worn out from it. Stuff that I don't use much anymore, and I don't miss it. not at all. My cardboard nor my jack stands, any of that stuff. I still have cause to use this. Remember the Fairmont, we put frame connectors in, we had to support it, so we used those. Cleaned this whole area up, had rags and everything laying around back here. I still need to come up with a solution for rags. I still haven't quite gotten there yet. Brooms and shovels and such, recycled stuff ready to go. This is that transmission, the old one from before. Some of you may notice that this here along the bottom of this door is now all taped up. You may be wondering why. Well, when they delivered said transmission, they backed the truck up and it was pretty high. Well, cameraman Brian didn't raise the door up high enough, and the guy in the truck didn't hear me screaming, telling him to stop, and backed right into the door. I was able to beat it back into submission and get it so that it functions again. However, the panels here kept falling out. My solution was the tape. So if you're wondering why this is here, well, it's from a battle scar from the transmission. I've moved all of my scrap down here, and it's gotten kind of ridiculous. It's time to make a scrap run for sure. I mean, especially now that I'm doing more work, oh geez. But TL engine, somewhere you'll have a video on the replacement of that. Some stuff has videos, some stuff does not. Some stuff is old, some stuff whatever. I've got to get rid of those propane tanks. Those have got to go sometimes. But this is the table of stuff that companies send me. So they send me different things. Like say for instance, this amp hound, which I'm hoping to find a way to try this out and find out, next time I get a real electrical problem in here, I want to run this tool through its paces. Metal rescue, I've been meaning to find a place to use that for some time as well. But yeah, this is tools and things that people send me for a review and such. Mustang parts. These are the extra Mustang parts that it came with. Nice. I believe these are off of like a Cobra or something. It's got new struts, new front lower control arms. These speakers were in the back, kind of a joke. And this is a cooling fan I pulled out that I'm going to replace the cooling fan that's in it with. I'm not too keen on the cooling fan that's in there now. And the awesome stuff that Peak sent me for the Fixing It Forward project. And almost lastly, we have these bulbs from Sylvania. Now, all of these lights here are what are known as a color temperature of 5000 K. So I actually changed all the bulbs in the shop. The ones up here, however, have not been changed. These are the new bulbs that Sylvania hooked me up with, and I've been waiting forever to get like a scissor lift so I can get up there and replace those bulbs. It's not going to take forever to do, but I'm hoping that lights the place better and makes it so that my color temperatures in my videos and everything are working like they should. Here's another long shot for you. My little slice of heaven back here. And I can't wait to get those lights in just to see what kind of difference I'm going to get, because as I said, I don't think these are the right color temperature. Half of these are painted, some of them are out. That's why it's dark back in this corner. They just need to be upgraded, and I'm really grateful that Sylvania was able to hook me up with those. One last thing that I'll talk about as far as future plans back here. As I said, I'm looking for like an upright 60, 80 gallon air compressor to go back in here. Why? There's 220 right there. So I can just plug it in and run the air lines all through the shop. So I'll make little workstations, little places for those. Instead of like this engine equipment, what I'm hoping for in this, well, maybe the parts washer will be there or whatever. Maybe that stuff will still be there, but perhaps where the welder is and where this is, I'm dreaming big here. Tire mount and balance machine, or tire machine and a mounting and a balance machine. So tire mounting machine and a tire balance machine. Those two things right here would be great. Between that and a shop press, there really wouldn't be much that I couldn't do at that point. I pretty much have it all. Oh, and if you're wondering what this is, it's the splash shield for that minivan I'm working on. I've got some stuff going on with that right now. And that wraps it up. That is the shop tour, May 2015, my little slice of heaven, as I said. I've been spending a lot more time down here doing a lot more work, shooting a lot more video. In fact, I've got plenty of good stuff coming your way. And I plan to do much, much more. I feel like I'm just getting started, especially when we talk about the future plans. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed this updated shop tour. Anyway, if you have automotive questions, I would ask that you head over to ericthecarguy.com. There's a welcome video there to tell you about what can help you. If you wish to connect with me socially, I can be found on Google+, Facebook, Twitter, and now Instagram. Close each of my videos with be safe, have fun, stay dirty, keep your shop clean. I'll see you next time.